Hold on to your seats, folks, because the United Kingdom is teetering on the edge of an economic abyss, and at the centre of this jaw-dropping catastrophe is none other than Rachel Reeves, the Labour Party Chancellor. A bombshell report has just exploded onto the scene, revealing a scandal so outrageous, so reckless, that it threatens to rip apart the very fabric of Britain's financial stability. This isn't just a minor misstep, it's a full-blown disaster that could leave hard-working Brits penniless, homeless, and furious. From shady tax grabs to whispers of personal profiteering, we're diving headfirst into the chaos that Reeves has unleashed. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of it. Subscribe now or miss out on the shocking truth. Before we plunge deeper into this electrifying exposé, let me hit you with an urgent plea. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, smash that subscribe button right now. Why? Because this scandal is unfolding faster than a runaway train, and every day brings new revelations that could change everything you thought you knew about the Labour government. Subscribing isn't just about staying informed, it's about joining a movement of truth seekers who refuse to let these scandals be swept under the rug. Don't let the elite silence this story. Hit subscribe, ring that notification bell, and let's uncover the mind-blowing secrets together. Picture this: Rachel Reeves, the woman entrusted with steering the UK's economic ship, has been caught red-handed tinkering with the sacred cash ISAs, those tax-free savings accounts that millions of Brits rely on to secure their futures. A devastating new report has laid bare her reckless meddling, exposing changes so dangerous they've sparked a tsunami of outrage from industry titans and triggered lawsuits from citizens who feel betrayed. But hold your breath, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. Rumours are swirling, dark, insidious rumours, that Reeves might be siphoning off a chunk of this bloated tax haul for herself. Yes, you heard that right. The Chancellor could be secretly stuffing her own pockets while the nation drowns in financial despair. How deep does this rabbit hole go? We're about to find out. It all started when Reeves decided to toy with the cash ISA regulations, rules that have long been a lifeline for savers and a cornerstone of the housing market. Word on the street is that she's mulling a savage cut to the annual cash ISA allowance, slashing it from a generous £20,000 all the way down to a measly £4,000. Critics are screaming from the rooftops that this isn't just a policy tweak, it's a vicious assault on the hard-working backbone of Britain, the everyday folks who depend on these accounts to shield their savings from the taxman's greedy claws. And the fallout? It's apocalyptic. Higher mortgage rates, a crumbling housing market, and millions of families pushed to the brink of ruin. This isn't a mistake. It's a calculated catastrophe. The bigwigs in the financial world aren't staying quiet about this. Heads of building societies, those venerable institutions that help regular Brits buy homes, reportedly fired off a blistering letter to Reeves, begging her to reconsider this madness. They warned her, point blank, that slashing the cash ISA allowance would ignite a chain reaction of misery. Mortgage rates would skyrocket, home ownership would become a distant dream for first-time buyers, and savers, especially vulnerable pensioners, would be left high and dry. Richard Fenn, a heavy hitter from Leeds Building Society, didn't mince words. He reportedly blasted the plan as a fool's errand, predicting it would fail spectacularly to deliver whatever pie-in-the-sky goals Reeves and her cronies had dreamed up. Instead, he said, it would destabilize the housing market and plunge countless Brits into financial quicksand. Susan Allen from Yorkshire Building Society piled on, calling the proposal a retrograde disaster that would kneecap both savers and the property sector. She pointed out a brutal truth: building societies rely on cash ISA funds to fuel mortgage lending. Slash that funding, and you're not just hurting savers, you're jacking up borrowing costs for everyone. First-time buyers, already struggling to scrape together deposits in an unforgiving market, would be hit hardest. Home ownership, already a fading fantasy for younger generations, could vanish entirely under Reeves' iron fist. But does she care? Apparently not. She's doubling down, brushing off the warnings like crumbs from her tailored suit. Now, here's where things get downright sinister. Leaked documents, yes, leaked, are hinting at something so scandalous it could bring Reeves' career crashing down. Word is, a slice of the extra tax revenue from these ISA changes might be slipping quietly into discretionary government funds that Reeves herself has her manicured hands all over. Financial watchdogs are howling for an independent investigation. And who can blame them? If these allegations are true, we're not just talking about bad policy. We're talking about corruption on a scale that would make your blood boil. Is Rachel Reeves deliberately engineering this crisis to line her own pockets? The whispers are growing louder, and the evidence is piling up. Think about it. Treasury data shows that tax revenue from savings has exploded by a staggering 665% since 2021. In the 2024-25 tax year alone, savers are projected to fork over £10.3 billion in income tax on their savings, up from a modest £1.4 billion just 3 years ago. Coincidence? Hardly. Industry estimates reveal that 6.1 million savings accounts are now generating interest above the £1,000 personal savings allowance for basic rate taxpayers, dragging more and more people into the tax net. And who's orchestrating this cash grab? Rachel Reeves, that's who. Financial experts are scratching their heads, asking the million-pound question. Why is she so hell-bent on squeezing every last drop from Britain's already battered savers? Let's zoom in on the human cost of this nightmare. Richard Fenn reportedly pointed out that most cash ISA holders are pensioners, folks who've worked their fingers to the bone and just want a safe place to park their nest eggs. These aren't high-rolling investors, they're ordinary people who can't afford to gamble on volatile stocks. Slashing the ISA allowance won't nudge them toward better investments, it'll just saddle them with bigger tax bills and tighter budgets. Meanwhile, Susan Allen hammered home the ripple effect. Less cash in building societies means higher mortgage costs, which means young families and first-time buyers get crushed under the weight of Reeves' reckless agenda. The property ladder, already wobbly, could collapse entirely. And the timing? It's downright diabolical. With savings tax revenue soaring and public anger boiling over, Reeves' evasive responses are only fanning the flames. When pressed about the ISA cuts, she's dodged and weaved, claiming she's just trying to find the right balance and foster a culture of retail investing like they have in the US. But let's cut through the spin. This isn't about growth or innovation, it's about control and cash. Critics argue that forcing savers into riskier stock-based ISAs is a recipe for disaster, especially in today's shaky global economy. A letter to The Guardian summed it up perfectly. One reader recalled how Thatcher and Lawson's 1980s push for a shareholder democracy ended in a 1990 crash that left investors reeling. History's screaming at us. Will Reeves listen? The backlash is deafening. Lawsuits are stacking up like firewood, with furious citizens and industry groups demanding accountability. A grassroots campaign to protect cash ISAs is gaining steam, backed by research showing overwhelming public support for these accounts. Public outrage is hitting fever pitch, and the pressure on Labour to back off is relentless. But Reeves? She's digging in her heels, shrugging off the criticism like it's nothing. Is she too tangled in her own web to retreat? Or is she banking on the chaos to push her shadowy agenda through? The numbers don't lie. Government finances are teetering, with a January surplus of £15.4 billion. Impressive until you realise it's way below the £20.5 billion forecast. That gap's got tongues wagging. Will Reeves slash spending or hike taxes even more to meet her precious fiscal rules? The Office for Budget Responsibility's upcoming report on March 26 could be the nail in her coffin, or the spark that ignites a full-scale revolt. Either way, the clock's ticking, and Britain's financial future hangs by a thread. So here we are, staring down the barrel of a crisis that could define a generation. Rachel Reeves stands accused of reckless policymaking, potential corruption, and a callous disregard for the millions she's sworn to serve. Is she a mastermind pulling strings behind the scenes, or a bungler in over her head? One thing's clear, the truth is clawing its way out, and we're not stopping until it's fully exposed. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, and let's keep the heat on until Reeves answers for this mess. The UK deserves better. Will we get it? Only time will tell, but we'll be here, uncovering every twist and turn. Don't miss it.